Hello, everyone, for this fourth vlog. Thanks for joining me. You might just during the course of this vlog hear red-chested cuckoo. They're out enforced in my area and signifies that summer's arrived. So, without further ado, let's get the nominations going for last week. First nomination is for John Steenhuisen. He's our Minister of Agriculture and also the leader of the Democratic Alliance. Some days ago, he was very critical of the United States of America for sending what he termed to be a junior staff member to, at the end of the G20 summit, to take over the chairmanship of the next G20, which is next year in the United States of America. John Steenhuisen called it very bad form, to quote him, that a junior staff member is sent from the embassy and not anybody higher up. Now, let's look at the credentials and the resume of this junior staff member. And for correctness, I'm going to use my notes. This junior staff member is indeed David Green, the present charge d'affaires at the United States Embassy in South Africa. He holds 2 master's degrees from 2 universities in the United States. He speaks Arabic and he speaks also French. He served as a charge d'affaires in Nigeria for 3 years, same in Morocco for 3 years. He was also political counselor in Rabat. He worked at the embassies in Pakistan, Jordan, Egypt, and Vietnam. He spent time in Washington as the director of the Office of Egyptian Affairs, director of Asian Multilateral Affairs, and deputy director of the Israeli and Palestinian Affairs. So by no means a junior staff member. In fact, he's what is called a career diplomat. Now, Mr. Steenhuisen, I fully understand that some South Africans are very offended that a junior staff member was sent and not the President of the United States, Trumpy Trump. However, that doesn't give us or you the right to be so insulting. And I think we need to apologize to Mr. Green. Also, as an aside, I don't think it's very wise of us to poke the bear. We need the US of A far more than they need us. Okay, first one done. Second one is actually a joint nomination for 2 people. Mr. Cedric Nkabinde, yes, the Cedric Nkabinde, and Mr. Paul O'Sullivan. As you know, Mr. Nkabinde, about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, was sent home to do his homework because his testimony at the ad hoc committee was, in his words, thumbsuck. So he was sent home to do homework, and last week, he returned back to the ad hoc committee. During his testimony, he implicated a gentleman by the name of Paul O'Sullivan. He went so far as to say that Mr. Sullivan ran the South African Police Services, as well as IPIT, which is the Independent Police Investigating Department or Unit, as well as the NPA, National Prosecuting Authority. That's quite an allegation to make of somebody who is a private citizen, obviously knowledgeable, well versed in policing matters, but Mr. Nkabinde linked him to General Sibiya, who's now suspended. Yes, another one suspended on taxpayer money, and a businessman called Muti Zunaid. But what was very telling, and it's allegedly, because we still don't know if it was true, nobody saw, or the WhatsApp message was not publicly displayed, but Mr. Nkabinde, after tea time, it's government, they have tea times, alleges that he received a WhatsApp from Mr. Paul O'Sullivan saying that threatening him to say that he will get back to him for all his testimony about Paul O'Sullivan in the ad hoc committee. Now, this needs to still be proven. It's unproven as yet, but the shenanigans going on, and which have been going on, are quite astounding. And yes, so for these 2 gentlemen, Cupcake of the Week nomination. Our next and our third nomination goes to, a lady called Mary De Haas. During a testimony at the ad hoc committee, it's taking over South African news, she very, and I don't know what the right word would be. She haphazardly answered after somebody asked her what her credentials were. So much so that I actually looked up rather than take what she said as granted. And she was a senior lecturer at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. She was also a fellow She was a senior lecturer in social anthropology at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, as well as a fellow in the Department of Law at the university. The credentials are amazing. It's just a pity that her testimony was less than amazing. So much so that parliamentarian after parliamentarian showed her up for being less than a good witness. One of the things that came out was quite disturbing. It seems that in a letter to the Minister of Police, she instructed him. She denied the instruction, but the letter is quite clear. She instructed him to disband the PKTT. PKTT, Political Killing Task Team. Now, for somebody outside of the police force to be telling the minister what to do, quite disturbing. She also could not corroborate any of her statements. So she kept saying, I heard this, which is hearsay. She heard certain things and accepted them as fact, expecting somebody else to verify the testimony or the witness's statement. It's disturbing because she's often used in the media, and when listening to her, we assume what she's saying is the truth. Yet now to find out it's unsubstantiated. She came across as an old lady who was very flustered and confused. I'm not quite sure whether it was deliberate or not deliberate. Yet she earns my third nomination as Cupcake of the Week. Okay, so who do I think should be Cupcake of the Week? And I think it has to be the Honorable John Steenhuisen. We expected more of him, and hopefully he has done the right thing by apologizing. So, Mr. Steenhuisen, your checkers cupcake, all for you. Thanks for listening. And if you like what I did or what I do, please click the subscribe button and the little thumbs up button as well. Speak to you next week.